Hello, and you're watching TV9 News, and I'm your host Deepak. Now, it was just last week that TV9 News had told you about how drones will be used to ferry vaccines to remote locations across the country. Now, in some more good news, after we highlighted the challenges and the advantages of drones joining forces and being actively involved in defeating the pandemic, the Directorate General of Civil Aviation, or in short known as DGCA, has approved the standard operating procedures presented by the Telangana government. Now, the SOPs were provided by the Telangana government for vaccine delivery by drones. Now, feasibility studies under visual line of sight, or the VLOS conditions, have been completed, and this is the second such approval granted by the Ministry of Civil Aviation, or MOCA, and DGCA to fight the COVID-19 pandemic. In fact, the Ministry of Civil Aviation and the Ministry of Home Affairs, or MHA, have also cleared the beyond visual line of sight operations, or the BVLOS operations. Now, the delivery of vaccine by drones may not be too far away now with these developments coming in. Another major announcement is that MHA is now the nodal authority for all drones to be used by CAPF, or the Central Armed Police Forces, and also states and union territory police. They have been completely exempted from the Unmanned Aircraft Systems Rules of 2021 by the Civil Aviation Ministry. With this, the Defence Ministry now has the powers to ramp up the use of civilian technology. This means that any civilian third-party administrators or TPAs who are a drone manufacturing company or service provider engaged in offering their product or services are exempted from the UAS rules of 2021. Now, some of these were key announcements which have been made. Now, let's get back to the Telangana government's SOPs being approved by the DGCA and also the Ministry of Civil Aviation. To get more details on the same, we have with us Captain Regis Job, NTRO DGCA certified RPAS master trainer. So, Regis, firstly, how much longer before we see Telangana transport vaccines using drones?
Thanks to the professional follow-up by media channels such as yours, the government and ministries are indeed watching and intent on generating positive results. As you would have noted from the recent valid concerns that you raised as to the timeframes and feasibility of the VLOS and the medical delivery program, these have been dynamically addressed. The Telangana project to transport vaccines using drones is called Medicines from the Sky, and the government has partnered with the World Economic Forum and Apollo Hospitals HealthNet Global. The objective of Medicines from the Sky project is to assess the capabilities of drones in providing safe, accurate, and reliable medical logistics of healthcare packages. This could include medicines, biological material, and possibly life-saving equipment from a designated distribution center to a specific location and back.
Second, Regis, what's Telangana's plan and what are the obstacles in their way right now?
As India struggles to cope with the current wave of the COVID-19 pandemic, the DGCA on the 26th of April approved the standard operating procedure of the government of Telangana, clearing the way for a feasibility project of vaccine delivery by drones, and one step closer to rolling out a large-scale program for the delivery of vital supplies via RPS. This should provide better access to healthcare to those in challenging locations. The plan is to conduct the experimental operations at Vikarabad in association with 18 hospitals and is structured in a three-phase format to build trust with the regulators and different stakeholders. There are currently 8 consortia who have already been cleared for VLOS, that is beyond visual line of sight experiments, by the Ministry of Civil Aviation, the Ministry of Home Affairs, and by the Ministry of Defence. India lacks a centralized medical logistics network, leaving most treatment centers operating in silos at a low efficiency rate, and in some cases the prevailing conditions prevent the emergency movement of critical medical supplies within the requisite time frame. The second impediment is the current restriction on fixed wing and hybrid UAVs. These are detrimental to the program, as the aim is to ferry vaccines and life-saving medical supplies over relatively long distances and inhospitable terrain. The biggest barrier to these type of operations remains regulation of airspace. The DGCA faces tough challenges in balancing the safety of existing flight operations while enabling new type of RPS operations within the established manned aviation ecosphere.
Third, Rage's BVLOS operations were also in the pipeline. Now that it has been approved, what can we expect?
Deepak, I'm happy to note that despite the current scenario, it is unprecedented that so much positive regulation and clearance has been approved within such a short time frame by the Ministry of Civil Aviation, with the DGCA and Airports Authority of India working overtime despite having a shortage of staff who have also been affected by the COVID. The Ministry of Home Affairs cleared the VLOS experimental airspace and removed some of the conditions that were holding the project back. This is fantastic news and a proverbial shot in the arm for the RPS industry. A lot of technical projects that were held back will be accomplished shortly, and it's up to the industry to responsibly scale up operations.
Hope soars high. Remote places will no longer have to worry about how vaccines would reach them, because over the next month or so, the necessary clearances will be obtained and our vaccination drive will become even more stronger and robust. If you guys have liked this piece of information that I've shared with you all today, please do drop in your opinions in the comment section below, and also do not forget to like, share and subscribe to TV9 News on various social media platforms. Many thanks for watching.